Hey YouTube, it's Mandak coming at you with another video. So today is a special video. So over the weekend I went to Harrisburg with a couple of friends from the students of SHIELD up at Penn State. Uh, Again, I guess I'll give them a plug. Students of SHIELD is the YouTube channel. It was the club I actually started up at Penn State back in 2015. It's still going strong. We're in our fourth year of existence as a club, and I got to go up and hang out with people and just have a really fun time. Get to catch up with people that I knew from previous years, and get to meet some new people that were well, I guess not new, like people that I've only known for like a year or so. But yeah, it was really fun. It was a whole day of trips to different places. We go to Harrisburg, which is probably like the best spot in terms of Pennsylvania for shopping in like a lot of different spots and shops. I can't talk today. But yeah, I'm sitting on my floor again because why not? Anyway, so we went shopping in Harrisburg, got some stuff, and boy did I get a lot of stuff. We'll go over today. This video might be probably my longest video of my whole YouTube channel. I have a lot of stuff to go through, and so I guess I hope you're settled in. But yeah, it was fun. So just a recap of some of the stores we went to. We went to Books A Million. We went to Second and Charles. We went to this place called Comics and Paperbacks Plus in Palmyra, Pennsylvania. We went to Dimension X, which was located in the Colonial Mall in Harrisburg. Wasn't really a good store, to be honest. And then we went to this last place called Comics Connection. Oh, and we also went to an Ollie's. So, found a lot of good things. And yeah, I found 2 posters as well. But everything else is strictly comics. So, so we'll get to it. I'll go, starting with my single issues and then working my way down. So let me just put these over here. I gotta fix one thing on this pile real quick and then we get to it. Alright, so some of the single issues here to start off actually were actually from a grab bag that a few of the members got from a one store. It was $25 for 100 random issues. So, and you'll probably see that video uploaded onto their page, the Students of SHIELD page, in the next few days or so. But yeah, it was just 100 issues of anything, and they had some Ultimate Spider-Man comic or issues in there, which I was interested in getting. Some of my other friends got some of the other ones, but I was just interested in one, and that was this one, which is Ultimate Spider-Man number 99. And this is actually part 3 of the Clone Saga from the Ultimate Spider-Man universe, when Gwen comes back after being killed by Carnage in a previous arc. Spoiler alert. I mean, this comic came out like 10 years ago at least. So, but yeah, so this is cool to have. Obviously, with the Ultimate, I mean, this was free, so that's why I got it. But the Ultimate Spider-Man comics covers are not like renowned for anything really. They were pretty bland, but pretty cool nonetheless. I believe this is Bagley doing the cover art as well, so pretty cool there. Next one I got here was another one from the grab bag, and it was Amazing Spider-Man number 537. So I just got this because it was a Civil War book. I actually own this in the trade, but I figured I'd get the single issue too, because why not? You can see here on the front you got Captain America, Punisher, and Spider-Man. So yeah, cool stuff. I'm trying to see Garney. I think it's Michael Garney. I'm not sure that's the name of it. Could be wrong. Next issue we got from the grab bag here was War Machine, Volume 2. Yeah, Volume 2, number 3. So, I'm sorry, I'm moving my drink over there because it's making noises and I don't want the camera picking that up. But yeah, so this is when War Machine fights Ares, who's like crazy and shit. This was not a good story. It was really kind of dumb, but I read it because it was War Machine. So yeah, that was that. I read that in like one weekend. It was pretty quick to read that whole series. Next book I got here was also from the grab bag. This is Ultimate Iron Man 2, number 5. If that makes any sense at all to you. So yeah, So kind of cool cover. This armor that he's wearing right here is the one that was based off, is what the Spider-Man Homecoming armor was like loosely based off of, with like the metal, and especially when you see the body part, you can see here how it looks pretty similar to the Homecoming armor. So that's cool. Next one we have here is Iron Man Hypervelocity issue 4. So I've not read this yet, but I don't know if it's collected in a paperback or whatever, but I'm gonna have to see if I can find it because I have this issue now. So maybe I'll just hunt down the single issues and just read it that way. Probably cheaper anyways, but yeah, something I haven't read from Iron Man yet, and it's cool to have. This issue I won't go too much into, but this is just a Hellboy issue that came for free at this one store. They gave it out to everybody, so whatever. Then the last 2 issues I got were the ones I actually was really looking forward to getting. I actually bought with my own money. This one's $2. This is Iron Man number 166. Very, like, about maybe 10 issues into Michelini and not Michelini, into Denny O'Neil's run on Iron Man. I think this is Luke McDonnell, on art. So really good. I really liked Luke McDonnell's Iron Man during that era. It was pretty good, pretty clean looking Iron Man, I thought. But he did do some like changes with the armor and like the mask and stuff, but very slightly. It didn't jump out and like impede the success of the book. But yeah, so this is obviously close to. This is, I think, 4 issues away from Rhodey taking over as Iron Man. Tony's still Iron Man at this point, but he's on the edge of going crazy because Stain is being a total dick to him. And then the last one, which I will remove this sticker because the sticker is annoying as hell, and it's loud as hell. Probably heard that on the mic. This is Iron Man 325, which is during the crossing. You have Teen Tony, all that stuff. I got this because I don't have it yet, so I'm almost filled out with like the very tail end of the Iron Man Volume 1 stuff. This is one of those issues that I just didn't have in that run there, so picked it up. So pretty much everything, like I would say 150 and back, is where I need to start filling in gaps, because everything beyond that probably is almost completely straight runs of issues. So, yeah, so we'll see. This is kind of a cool cover too. And that's all my single issues. So the rest of the stuff I went over were trades. So I'm going to try to keep these trades, like I'm going to start with the smallest ones and kind of work my way down. I didn't obviously go through and count the pages or whatever, but it's fairly distributed correctly in terms of page counts. So I'll start with the trades as I work my way down. So first trade I got here was Star Wars Obi-Wan and Anakin. This is the miniseries that came out in, I think, I want to say like 2015 or 2016. Let's see. Yeah, 2016. So obviously, as you guys know, I'm a big Star Wars fan. I mentioned that a few times in the previous videos. So I picked this up for $5 at Ollie's. It's a little expensive for what it is. It's a pretty thin trade, but it's a mini series. I don't see it getting collected in any other format besides this. So I picked it up, and Anakin, Obi-Wan, always a cool dynamic to explore, and the art in here is pretty good. It's a little. It looks a little busy at times, but I think overall, it looks like it has a pretty good motif going on here. Some pretty good coloring going on with moods and stuff in different scenes. You can see here in this scene, it's very purple and red, so that's kind of cool. So yeah, overall, and I think Charles Soule's writing this, so that it might be half decent, but overall, Disney's and Marvel's, redoing of all the Star Wars titles, most of them have been pretty solid. Darth Vader has been well renowned. I've read like the first, I think, like maybe 6 or 7 issues of that. I read Star Wars. I read like the first, I want to say, 2 story arcs of that series. But yeah, like, they're doing a pretty good job, and they've also had other series like Dr. Aphra come out of these storylines. New characters getting ongoing series with Star Wars titles and Marvel. So that's pretty cool. I think they have a lot of steam going on with these books. So we'll have to see. I mean, it's not without their duds as well, but what are you gonna do? Next book I got, and I gotta make sure I don't have this. I don't think I do. Yeah, I don't. No. No, I don't. I was a little worried when I was driving home today. I'm like, do I already have this? But it is Avengers Disassembled. So this is some stuff from the very end of. Um, I think this is right before New Avengers, if I'm not mistaken. This is Avengers 500 to 503, and then it also has some backup stuff in it too. Looks like. Oh, it just has like a flashback to when Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch joined the Avengers. So this is actually looks like it's gonna be a really cool book. There's a lot of stuff that happens out of this that kind of resets the Avengers as a team, and a lot of change go through. This is written by Brian Michael Bendis, obviously. So we'll see how this goes. I picked this up for $4, so pretty cheap price, I would say. Pretty cool to have. I do have Iron Man Disassembled. So I do have this now, and I'm not sure if I want to collect anything else. I mean, I know there's like Thor Disassembled and stuff like that, but yeah, we'll see. Next book I got here was Champions Volume 2. Volume 2, the second trade volume. So if that makes any sense. So obviously there was a 1970s series of Champions that came out that had a lot different team than this. And then this was rebooted in 2016. I believe this came out of Secret Wars and then continued for 2 trades. So this is Mark Waid. So I have the first trade. I'm going to read this one. There's some pretty cool people on this team. You have, Nova. You have Amadeus Cho, Hulk. You have Miles Morales. You have what's Vision's daughter's name? I forget. She's on this team. Looks like Miss Marvel. So pretty cool characters. A lot of them I'm not really familiar with. Like I never read any Miss Marvel stuff, even though. Kamala Khan Miss Marvel stuff, that is. So, might be some good introduction to her. I obviously I've actually bought 3 hardcovers of Miss Marvel stuff, which I haven't even touched yet. And right now I'm kind of going through Carol Danvers stuff, so maybe I'll jump over to Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan later on. We'll see. I heard it's really good, so it's good to see that she's in this book as well. Next book I got here was Ghost Rider. 4 on the Floor. So I believe this came out after the all new Ghost Rider, and this has Robbie Reyes in it as well. I did read the 2 all new Ghost Rider trades. Thought they were half decent. They weren't, it got a little weird towards the end there, but Robbie Reyes as a character is pretty interesting. He has a disabled brother that he looks out after, and there's a lot of tension there with his character, but as a character he's pretty cool. The art on his, on the Ghost Rider that it's pretty cool. You can see there on the back. So this collects Ghost Rider, the 2016 series, numbers 1 through 5. So pretty cool to put next to the shelf and have right next to him. So, all these little Marvel trades. This one was, I don't know, I think I paid like $4 for it or something. It wasn't that expensive. That was my phone for work, so you have to excuse that noise. Next one I got here was a DC book, which I think is the very first DC book I've mentioned here on this video. So this is World's Finest. So this is Superman and Batman. And I don't really know much about it, but my friends recommended this to me, so I'm going to read it. Just looking at the art looks amazing. You can see here the really cool use of color to show tone in different scenes. So I'm really excited to read this. Just opening this book up, looking at this art, it looks really good. So yeah, so we'll see how this goes. I'll give it a look, and yeah, I think I paid like $4 for this. This was not. Sorry about all that. That's my phone. You know what? Let me put it on silent so that doesn't happen again. Oh. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, my freaking phone, man. Blowing up my phone. Alright. Next book I got was DC. This is the Batman Gates of Gotham. So this is not Bruce. This is, I think, Damian as Batman. If I'm not wrong, I'm sorry. But this is just this is a more Gotham-centric story about Batman and him taking back Batman or Gotham after it gets destroyed, I guess. the bridges get blown up. So I don't really know a lot about it. We'll have to go see again. This is something that my friends recommended to me, so I want to put it on the Batman shelf and I'll read it eventually. So it looks really cool. You know, again, this art's really awesome looking. Let me see if I can show a panel. Let me see here. Pretty cool art going on here. So really excited to read that. You know, I've read some Batman stuff. I read Tales of the Batman, you know, Brayfogle and all that stuff, but I'm really looking to dive into some more stuff. Next issue we have here, or next volume, or paperback, whatever we have here, is Red Skull Incarnate by Greg Pak. So this is a semi, you know, sequel, pseudo sequel to Magneto Testament. It kind of, they're supposed to be presented together in like, you know, schools and stuff, but obviously I don't know if a lot of schools even use these as teaching devices. But you know, Magneto Testament was about Magneto going through you know, the Holocaust and stuff, and then this is kind of in that same historical vein, but from the other side as Red Skull. So, you know, we'll see how this goes. I'm not sure if this is the same artist either. It might not be. I don't think it is. But you can kind of see here the art. So really excited to read this. Red Skull is a pretty interesting villain. Besides the obvious fact that he's just like a, you know, Nazi. So my friend told me this is really good, so that's why I bought it. So pretty scary looking cover too as well. This is the back. So cool. Boo, 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 boo. It's weird 'cause it's called Red Skull Incarnate, but it just says collect Red Skull 1 through 5. So I don't know. This might just be considered a solo series. I don't know. Next book I got here was Secret Avengers by Alice Cott, Volume 2. So I have Secret Avengers. You know, I have the Brubaker stuff, the Warren Ellis stuff, the Rick Remender things, and I believe the Nick Spencer. Is that what it is? I'm trying to see who's. Yeah, Spencer writes Secret Avengers, and then I think this might come afterwards or before. Not sure. But yeah, just another trade that I picked up for, you know, Secret Avengers. This trade was pretty thin, but I got for $3, so I thought that's a pretty good deal for that. Yeah, just another Avengers book that I want to look into. I think I've actually read some of this before, if I'm not mistaken. I think I've read stuff that's in probably the first volume of this run, but I could be wrong. Yeah. All right. Next book I got here was Catwoman, Volume 3, and this is Ed Brubaker. So this collects, I don't know what, collect Catwoman 25 through 37. So obviously people say that Ed Brubaker's Catwoman is very well renowned. You know, just looking at this, it's kind of bloody, but whatever. The art on here looks really good. Really excited to read this, just, you know, also for the art. But they also said that Catwoman's Volume 1 and 2 are very good as well, so I might have to track those down at some point and get those. But this is Volume 3, so really cool to have. I've never read anything with Catwoman before, so I don't have any, I guess, expectations going into this about what to look for or whatever. But, you know, looks like a really cool book to read. It's a pretty thick trade. Picked this up for, you know, $6, so I would say it's a pretty good deal for that. So, Catwoman, yes. All right, another Avengers event that I got because I'm a corporate conformist bitch, I guess. I don't know. This is Axis, so this is not a really good event. I actually read. Well, from what I've heard, it's not a good event. I don't know. It might be good. I might like it. Whatever. But you know, basically what happens is it basically turned the personalities of all the characters like made like the good guys the bad guys and the bad guys the good guys. If that makes any sense. And I think, you know, what came out of this was like one of the books that came out of this was Superior Iron Man, which, you know, had him more as like a you know, kind of like a dictator and a ruler, like, you know, trying to use technology to take over people's lives. So that kind of is like what this book kind of spurned into that Superior Iron Man storyline, which I half enjoyed Superior Iron Man. The first half of the run was not good. The second half I think was kind of a little bit better, but Yeah, so just another title to look for. God, my freaking computer, man. Every single time. I will turn this back on and we will get going. Okay. Oh, now it's loading photos. Okay. So yeah, so Axis, pretty cool. If you look at the cover though, you could come across as saying Sixus, but it's not. It's Axis. So if that makes any sense at all. They're trying to do a thing where it's like if you spin the book upside down, it still says Axis, which it kind of does, but it's kind of a stretch if you ask me. Okay, cool. Gonna shift my legs over again. Man, we still have a shit ton of stuff to go through, guys. Batwoman by Greg Rucka and J.H. Williams III. Greg Rucka is a really great creator, so I'm excited to read this. And this art, again, man, DC has some pretty good art in their books, man. I know that's not everything, but I mean, it's definitely helps when it comes to reading books, right? If the art's not legible, if it's not clear, it can affect the story. A great story can be ruined by awful art, and vice versa. So, yeah, you can see here just some stuff. So this is volume. Actually, I think this is just a mini series or whatever. Could be wrong. I don't know. Anyway, picked this up for $6 as well. So just another female DC character to read. You got Catwoman, now you have Batwoman. So yeah, cool. I'm really excited to read these. Like I said, I don't have a lot of expectations with these characters, so I'm kind of going to these blind, and that's kind of a cool thing. It's better to do that than to go into reading something sometimes. Having an expectation about what this character could be or comparing it to other runs while you're reading it. I know I do that sometimes with certain things, and it's not always the best thing to do because everything should be treated kind of as its own separate thing. But yeah, whatever. Next book we have here is The Thing Project Pegasus. So this is actually, I think, a newly released version of this collection. It was previously in a Marvel Premier Classic, I believe, and in an older trade before that. But Marvel released a new one I would say this probably came out about 6 months ago. Let's see, does it say on here on the back? No, it doesn't say anything there at all. But yeah, so I picked this up. This collects Marvel 2-in-1, numbers 42 through 43, number 53 to 58, and then Avengers 236 to 237. So this is some classic Marvel stuff. Obviously, for anyone who's seen the Captain Marvel movie, they do reference Pegasus in the movie. That's the base that Fury and Carol Danvers crash into to get information about about the what's her name? Lawson, I guess what her name is. The pilot person that was doing research, whatever. I won't spoil it, I guess, but I kind of already did, whatever. So yes, this is really cool. Just some classic I believe it was 1970s at this point, probably mid-70s. So still, getting to the point where the art's getting better and better in terms of like layouts and stuff. Not so stagnant in terms of the looks. But yeah, I got this for I think like $6 or something. So that's a pretty good deal for this thing. I'm really excited to own it. This is definitely something I wanted to collect for a while, and I've just never found a good price on it. So it's cool to own. Next book I got here was Superman Panic in the Sky. And this is Dan Jurgens' Superman. So Dan Jurgens is known for a lot of stuff. At Marvel as well. He did stuff with. He did a Captain America run, I believe, and then a Thor run, I believe, as well. So I think those are both well acclaimed. So really cool to read this. Louise Simonson's also on here. So yeah, so cool stuff. This art. This seems like my type of thing. This looks about like late 80s, mid to late 80s art going on here. So like I said, I haven't really read any like old-fashioned Spider-Man stuff at all. So this person looked like really. I thought this was Jean Grey for a second. I'm like, that's not her, just because she's a redhead, I guess. Yeah, looks really cool. I like this era of my sweet spot for comics probably in terms of like art and like style and stuff like that is probably around like mid to late 80s into the early 90s. That's probably like 1985 to 1995 is probably like my sweet spot in terms of like how I read, like which art I prefer the most. And I think that was the peak point of art for the comics at the time. Obviously, it's a lot different today, so it's kind of hard to compare it. But anyway, moving on here, we get Wolverine Enemy of the State Ultimate Collection by Mark Millar and John Romita Jr. So really excited to read this read this storyline. Also look at this John Romita Jr. art. At this point, I don't think his art has gotten too bad, so it's pretty cool to read. His art changes a lot. From the very beginnings to, his Byrne run or his Iron Man run with John Byrne in the '90s to this. His art has evolved a lot, and it's always a good thing to read. It's always something to look for. Oh, just looking at that, that looks awesome. I don't know what the hell that's even about, but we'll see. I actually originally was going to buy the Volume 1 trade from a friend, but I saw this on the trip, and I was like, yeah, I'm just going to get this. He's like, I totally get it. So, yeah, and I picked this up for $6. So, for a pretty thick trade, I think that's a pretty cool deal. So, yep, and it's all collected in here. So perfect. Don't have to get any more volumes. All right. Whew. I got to take a little breather. Let me take a drink real quick. I'm about halfway through, maybe a little bit under that. Okay. Next thing we have here is Avengers Legacy of Thanos. And this is actually the kind of like the midpoint, I guess, or like, right before Under Siege for Roger Stern's run on, on Avengers. I really enjoyed Roger Stern's run on Avengers. He had Under Siege, and then he had the Olympus event. He also had Emperor Doom, all that stuff. A lot of good stuff going on during his time as the writer. And this has Roger Stern writing, and then John Byrne. I think John Byrne also helped out with writing as well. But then you also got some really good art in here. You got John Buscema, and John Byrne doing art as well. So, yeah, I'm a huge fan of John Byrne's art. Let me see if I can find some of it for you. Oh, God, Bee Hunter's in here. Shit. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if these are whatever this is. Yeah. So this also fills a gap. So there's Absolute Vision, which I actually bought the first volume. I'll show it today. And then there's this, and then you have the two Epic collections for Roger Stern, and then you have the Heavy Metal collection. So really cool to own this. This was actually a little bit more expensive. This was $8, but I mean, it's still a pretty good deal. I mean, looking at this, the cover price for this little tiny thing was $35, which to me is a little overpriced. You can get Epic collections with double the amount of pages for the same price. So, yeah, this was definitely overpriced, I think. But what are you gonna do? I got it for $8. Not bad at all. Next book I got here was Ant-Man, Giant Man, Growing Pains. And this is actually a hodgepodge of stuff. This has Avengers numbers 28 and 139, Marvel double feature Avengers Giant Man numbers 379 to 382, Avengers Academy number 7, and material from Tales to Astonish number 49. So, Tales to Astonish 49 is the first appearance of Hank Pym, I think. Avengers 28, I think, is the first appearance of Giant Man. No, of Goliath, I think, or something. I'm not sure. And then you have 139, which I can't even tell what that one is. But the main reason why I got these was because of those Marvel double feature books. They're kind of shoehorned into the middle of this book here, so you can kind of see them from here. So I think I paid like, I don't know what it was, $8 or $9 for this. For 4 issues or whatever, 5 issues, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get that stuff into any other collections, so that's why I bought it this way. And just another Ant-Man book to put on the shelf. Marvel doesn't really have a lot of stuff from Ant-Man, mostly because his appearances are tied in with Avengers stuff, so they just keep him in the Avengers books and they don't make any separate stuff. I mean, if they were going to do that, they do have collections out with like Scott Lang and stuff like that, but like it's all just Avengers issues. So it's like, why would you buy that? Just buy the separate collections that they're in and just read those. I think it's a better option. Okay, moving on here, we got Avengers Scarlet Witch by Abnett and Lanning. This has a bunch of stuff in here. It has a Scarlet Witch, her first ongoing series or miniseries, numbers 1 through 4. Avengers Origins Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver number 1. Marvel Team Up number 125. Solo Avengers number 5. Marvel Comics Presents 60 through 63, 143, 144, and Mystic Arcana Scarlet Witch. So a bunch of stuff in here. The main attraction is definitely the 4-issue miniseries with her. Let me see if I can show. This is a pretty cool page. So I've read some stuff with Scarlet Witch. I've read Robinson's run on Scarlet Witch. That was pretty good. So I'm excited to read this. Her as a character is pretty interesting. I've also read the first Vision and Scarlet Witch series, and then I do have the 12-issue series I'm going to read at some point. I'm really excited to read that. So, Scarlet Witch, I've had some exposure with her as a character. Pretty cool stuff from what I've read so far. A lot of women-centric books in this pile, which is awesome. I'm reading Miss Marvel right now, which is the Carol Danvers version of it, obviously. But so with that being said, I've also bought this book, the Captain Marvel Carol Danvers years, or the Carol Danvers year. This book is really has such a confusing title, and I was telling my friends about it yesterday. So this book is called Captain Marvel: Carol Danvers hyphen the Miss Marvel years. So the reason why it's called Captain Marvel is obviously because of the movie. They need to tie that with her as a character, but she's throughout this whole. I would imagine that throughout this whole book, she's not called Captain Marvel once. She wasn't called Captain Marvel until I think 2012 or 11 or something. It was very recently that she was given the title Captain Marvel. For years, she was called, Miss Marvel, Binary, which is on the back here. So this is, I think, 2006 series. Obviously at this point she's still Miss Marvel. She's also been known as Warbird during the Busiek Avengers run, I believe, or Busiek Iron Man at least. She was known as that. So this is a really thick trade. I picked this up for $10, and I believe this just came out this year, which is a little crazy to me that it's already on sale. I'm not sure if that's a bad sign or whatever, but yeah. And I think there's multiple volumes of this, but I don't see a volume number on the end here, so I'm a little confused because I actually did see the same type of spine, say volume 2 and 3. So maybe Marvel made this and then was like, oh shit, we didn't put the number on it. Let's put 2 and 3 on the next ones. But yeah, this collects Giant Size Miss Marvel number 1, Miss Marvel the 2006 series numbers 1 through 17, Miss Marvel Special number 17. And it's written by Brian Reed and illustrated by Roberto De La Torre, Mike Waringo, and a bunch of other people. So, yeah, let me see if I can show some art here. I was going to show one thing, but it's a little, I'm not sure if it's the best thing to show on the first thing. So you can see here. So pretty cool art going on. I'm really excited to read that. So yeah, so really cool to own that. I remember seeing it when it came out, but I just didn't buy it because it was $20 or something. So I think this trade goes for $35. So on IST when it came out, it would have been $17. So next book I got here was a recommendation from a friend while we were at Ollie's, and we were actually talking about this the day before we went on the trip. This is Starman. So this is DC. This is by James Robinson, and I've only heard really great things about this series. I've heard that it's a really, really good, just an all-around awesome series, and it's not so much super heroics as it's just a great story overall. That happens to be a superhero. So the way this is set up, I think there's 6 hardcovers, 6 omnibus, hardcover omnibus that come out, and they're pretty much the same size as these, but this is technically called an omnibus, but this is a trade. This is pretty much a complete collection. This has, I don't know what it says here. Does it say? First 17 issues of the series. So my friends were telling me, try this out, see what you think. If you like it, you can go get the hardcovers, whatever. So I'm gonna give it a shot. It's another character. Nothing better than branching out and kind of expanding my knowledge of different characters. And yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I'm looking through the art again. I hate to keep bringing that up, but um, the art looks really good in this book. I'm trying to find one that's a little less for me. Like, this looks really cool. That's really cool. I'm excited to read that. So we'll see how it goes. But one thing I gotta give DC credit for is all their hardcover, like all their like spines are totally different. Like, they're not like Marvel always has these Marvel logos on the top. DC really does a good job individualizing their omnibus or like their trades and stuff to make them look all separately and unique, and that's really cool for sure. All right, getting down to the pile here as I shift my legs again. So as I mentioned before, picked up Avengers Absolute Vision Volume 1. So I do own Volume 2. I bought that at PhillyCon last summer, for $5, and I got this for $13. So overall, I spent $18 on two thick trade paperbacks of Avengers stuff. This has Avengers 231 to 241, Annual 11 and 12, Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 16, Fantastic Four, I don't know, I can't talk. Fantastic Four number 256, and Doctor Strange number 60. So this is written by Roger Stern, illustrated by John Romita Jr., Al Milgrom, John Byrne, Dan Green, Bob Budiansky, I don't know how you say that, and Jackson Geese, I don't know how you say his name, Goose, I don't know. But yeah, really cool to own this now. I've been looking for this for a while, and it's really cool to own. So yeah, Marvel made two of these books, so you can see here the book one here. I'm really excited to read this. This comes right before, like I said, all the Under Siege and Olympus stuff. So it's going to go right there chronologically on the shelf. You can see here the back. You also got Monica Rambeau. We got Star Fox. Let's see who else you got on this team. You got Thor, She-Hulk, Captain America, Wasp, Vision, Scarlet Witch. So this copy is a little dinged up. The cover is a little bit bent, but it's hardly noticeable. This is an older trade. I think this came out. I want to see when the first printing of this book came out. Let's see. Oh, maybe it is 2013 came out. That's a little weird. That's a little weird timing for that. Not sure what prompted this to be released, but anyway, cool to own. Another Avengers paperback that I can scratch off the list. And like really the last big one that I'm looking for, Celestial Madonna probably, and The Trial of Yellow Jacket, which is super out of print, and I don't know if Marvel will ever reprint that. I mean, I think they're going to have to at some point, but it's just a very sensitive time in comics. But I mean, if they made a printing before, they're probably going to do it again, so maybe there's a chance. Alright, getting down to the pile here, we have two Epic collections, which I picked up at, what's it name? We picked it up at Second and Charles. So, and these ones both recently came out. This is Silver Surfer, Epic Collection Volume 7, Infinity Gauntlet. So this has stuff, Silver Surfer 51 to 66, Annual number 4, and material from Marvel Comics Presents 69 and 93 from 97. And just looking at the back, I'm kind of excited because, as you can see here, you have the Guardians team on the back. And I don't know, I think I've read some of the issues that are in here, probably, because there's probably some crossover. Silver Surfer did have some crossover with the Guardians in the 90s. So I think there's probably some issues in here I've already read, but that's fine. It's still a pretty good deal. I got this for $10. And I believe this is going to go right next to the Thanos Quest Silver Surfer Epic Collection that I got. So I'll have a straight run of Silver Surfer stuff. However split up it is, because you got, you have the Infinity Gauntlet kind of interrupting this whole thing. So, it might be plagued by a little bit of tie into that. But obviously I've read Infinity Gauntlet, so I know the backstory going in. So it won't be too confusing, I'm hoping. But you can see here the back. So let me just see what this goes over. This collects Silver Surfer. Oh, I already said that. What the fuck? Let's see if I can find some panels here. Oh, that's a really cool one. Well, this is the cover from the book, or from the. This is the cover from the book cover. So if that makes any sense. Thanos, let there be light. Just smacks your hand again. I wish I could just do that. I guess if I got a clapper, that's how that would work in my house. Okay. Next type of collection I got was Punisher, Capital Punishment. I picked this up for $13. You see here it's a little bit dinged up on the edge, but that's fine. This is some pretty late Punisher. This is 1992 to 93, so I think the exact same era. Oh, you're back. Same era as the Silver Surfer book. So from what I've heard, my friend tell me, this is pretty much Punisher going to, the UK to fight crime, I guess. So this has Punisher 63 to 75, Punisher G-Force, Punisher Die Hard and the Big Easy, and Punisher Black Widow spinning Doomsday's web. So I'm kind of excited to read some of this. That Black Widow Punisher crossover has me kind of intrigued. But this is, like I said, this is probably like my sweet spot for art. I know it probably won't be the best story, but like this art looks really awesome to look at. So I'm really excited to read it, see how it goes. You got Kingpin here. So yeah, cool, epic. This is my very first Punisher epic collection, so I was a little curious to see how the spines and stuff would look. But it's kind of cool. They have like the white color image here and the white little line going across. You got white, and then you have the logo as a white outline with a black fill-in color. So a little bit hard to read on the shelves, but yeah. You got the back. The Punisher hits Europe. So cool. And then we get into my 3 hardcovers here. We have Batman: The Killing Joke by Alan Moore. And I picked this up at Second and Charles for $6, so pretty cool deal there. Obviously, I think this is probably one of the best Joker stories out there, Batman stories. So I've heard a lot about this. Obviously, this was probably my best way to get this. There's no other real easy way to get it, but I just picked it up like this. $6. Why not? So I'm excited to read this. I think this was actually made into a animated movie, I believe, which I don't think my friends said were good. Next book I have here, which I might as well just take out of the plastic wrap, it's already starting to come out anyway, is a DC book again. This is Trinity, and I believe my friend told me this is the very first team up between the 3 of them together. And just looking at this art, looks amazing. So I'm really excited to read these. I would say probably of all the characters in the DC universe, these 3 are probably definitely up there for me. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern's probably a close 4th. But yeah, oversized hardcover for this. There's one more book that I need to look for when it comes to this stuff, and I gotta find it. It's The New Frontier. That's by Darwin Cook, I believe, the artist. I'm not sure who's the writer, but I've heard that's a really good book. I've been trying to hunt it down, but everywhere I go, it's really kind of high in price, so I want to wait for a deal for it. But that's another book that I'm trying to hunt down. So yeah, so 2 DC hardcovers, really cool to have. And then the last book I got here was a book that I found at Books A Million, and that is the Black Panther by Coates oversized hardcover, Volume 1. So this collects Black Panther. I don't know if it's like Volume 4 or 5 or whatever at this point, but Black Panther, the 2016 series, 1 through 12. So this is basically the first 2 story arcs, which is funny because I actually saw this, and then I saw the first 2 paperbacks of this series, and then I saw the hardcover for sale for $10. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, I'll just get to the hardcover. So yeah, so we'll see how this goes. Cool to have this, and the trade dress on it is really cool. It's like kind of like watercolored in the back, so it's not like exactly white. So it has like a little bit of pattern, like jungle stuff going on in the back. I think it kind of this thing kind of wraps around into the back here, so that's really cool. So yeah, and it's still sealed and everything. So that is all the comics I bought. I bought 2 posters here. I'll just hold them here. I won't pull them out because I don't want to like just rip them or anything. But I bought a New Mutants poster by Alex Ross, which is really cool. It has the first team of New Mutants. You know, Cannonball, um, Karma, I believe her name was, Wolfsbane, Sunspot, all that stuff. So really excited to have that. And then I also bought a Guardians of the Guardians 3000 poster, which has the first Guardians team sitting. I think if I'm not mistaken, there's a bunch of different posters that Alex Ross made of Guardians 3000, which I'm going to open this up after this video to find out which one it is. But I think this one would be the one with them sitting in the cockpit and looking out. And it's really cool because it had all the original team members kind of like sitting together and looking out. So if it's that one, I'm going to be excited. So yeah. So that is my whole haul, guys. Let me just show you the stack just so you can see how big it is. It's huge. Alright. But yeah, other than that, guys, that is my whole video. This is definitely the longest video I think on this channel, 48 minutes. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this haul video. Let me know, if you guys have any opinions or know anything about the stuff I bought. You just want to share your thoughts about it. Definitely do that in the comments. In terms of before I leave, in terms of price, I paid $170.50 for all this, and the cover price was I think $641.50. So I saved around 73% on everything that I bought, which is a pretty crazy deal. Yeah, I was very satisfied with what I got, and I definitely made sure I got the best deal on everything when I was buying it, for sure. There were some places that usually have sales that weren't having that weekend, which is a little bit unfortunate, but can't get too greedy, I guess. But that definitely would have brought the price down even to an even crazier total. So yeah, guys, this has been Dan Mandak doing a video podcast of my haul from the Harrisburg 2019 comic book trip. I'm very tired right now. A lot of staying up late to get all this stuff done and everything. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy your rest of your week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.